exertion, whatever you want to call it within your organization. And roughly 1/2 of all of the accidents, all of the claims that are attributable to the workers' compensation line of coverage of the catalyst were as a result of overexertion, quote unquote overexertion. That's the way it's labeled anyway. And roughly 2/3 of the dollar amounts, this was close to $4 million in losses at the time, a couple of years ago, were back injuries, sprains, strains, and overexertion. So I've known Mark for 10 or 15 years maybe. He's worked with a number of our captives, trucking captives. He's developed a trucking athlete program. He had developed a bus athlete program for our tour bus companies that we do business with. It's an occupational athlete program for just general manufacturing type environments. All of three of which I've seen be very, very successful. So I asked Mark at the time, we could develop something for the catalyst athlete, the EMS athlete. In fact, you named it. We surveyed you all for your thoughts on the ambulance athlete, the EMS athlete, the emergency athlete, whatever it was, and you all voted for the EMS athlete. So that's where the name came from. He's since developed a hunting athlete, what's it called?
The hunter athlete system for hunters, because they get hurt, and there's 80% of hunters in America are overweight. And we're connected to a reality TV show now. If you have the Sportsman's Channel, we're part of a Hollywood Hunter. It's kind of a cool show, reality show.
So you can see the common theme, though, is to take these common practices that help prevent back sprain, strain, and strain, improve the overall wellness and health of your workforce, makes for a healthier workforce, less accidents. It just makes sense. So we asked Mark to put together the Catalyst EMS athlete, rolled it out in the summer of 2010. I've reintroduced it a couple times. We tweaked the book a little bit. I know Mark has some books, but let me give you some of the other background on Mark Evers if you're not familiar with what he's up to. More than 25 years of experience in developing and implementing corporate and industrial sports medicine programs. The President and Chief Executive Officer of Occupational Athletics in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's a noted speaker and author of The Game Plan for Aging, which is also something I think he's brought a few samples along if you're interested in that. As well as the Athlete System, as I mentioned, the interactive health and safety series of books and audios. You can also find him, if you're a Sirius Radio buff, or listen to Sirius Radio on channel 106, which is the Road Dog channel, where he has been working for how many years?
This year will be 7 years on the Road Dog.
7 years helping over-the-road truckers improve their health and wellness while they're on the road. So please give a...
Oh, give Andy a round of applause. I got to tell you, being on XM radio all these years, truck drivers, interesting bunch. You ever go to a truck stop? Raise your hand. You think they live well? Over-the-road guys die at 55 on average. Schneider Trucking announced 51. 22,000 drivers, that's when they die. And, the thing about the EMS athlete system, when I worked with Andy on collaborating with some of the members on this, I look at things a little differently than perhaps you do. I started my healthcare career in hospitals. My background is orthopedics and sports medicine. Some of you may know my partner, Dr. David Joyner. He's in the spotlight up at Penn State University right now. He's the acting athletic director. I worked with the Olympic Committee. I worked with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some of you know that. And my model of care is treat a worker like an athlete. Now, when I come into companies, most employees don't view themselves that way, so let's think outside the box. You said it a couple times, Glenn, and I want to thank Glenn. Glenn took the proactive approach, and so did Don and Rob and Ordain as I came in, and we did training because, this system works only if people use it. It's like anything, use it or lose it. You can go to a health club, sign up and never use it, or use it a few times, and it's worthless. But at the end of the day, we look at human beings, as Don said very well, they are your most valuable assets. And when I go to companies and I do seminars around the United States, I got to tell you, we talk a good game, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this, because when I worked in hospitals, I worked in the ER, the orthopedic wings, the ICU, and I dealt with EMS workers and paramedics for many years, bringing in patients to the hospital. And I look at these patients coming in, and for the most part, these patients didn't have to be there. They're there because of the way they live. And the way you lived caught up to you. And how many of you can relate to that? How many patients do you pick up that are stroking out, heart disease? They're having these health issues, and you're getting the calls to go pick these folks up or transport them to the hospitals or transport them over to the nursing homes. When I wrote my game plan for aging book, it was a blending of working in professional amateur athletics. Also, I worked in nursing homes for 3 years, and I got to tell you, that was the most depressed place I ever worked. Would you agree? If you hang out in a nursing home, it's a sad place to work, let alone live there. and then it's challenging for the family members that have to deal with that loved one in a nursing home. So if you don't want to finish your life in a nursing home and you want to take care of you, you need a game plan to live better. And that's been my struggle, trying to help people recognize that, but we're making some positive traction. That's the good news. The thing about human beings, it takes this message over and over and over and over again. You know, people are, you know, we all know we should eat healthy. Now, I'm not going to bust on what you had out there for your little snack, but I got to tell you, you probably feel a little sluggish right now. You got that sugar buzz going and you come down, anybody here a little sluggish? And this thing about your workforce, how many of them, their energy is struggling? You know, so I want you to think a little differently about what we're going to chat about today. This is not about technology. This is about the reality of human beings. This is about what we do to ourselves. And you guys know better than anybody because you're in the healthcare industry, essentially. And I want to thank Jay, because Jay and I collaborated years ago. He came here to speak in Chicago about the road athlete and thought, too, hey, I've seen these EMS workers out there. What percentage of your workforce is really fit for duty? And I'm glad to see, Don, you guys are doing proactive things now, but we got to ramp this up. We got to go from good to great. And if you read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, I know Andy knows that book. I got to tell you, you guys got a great safety program and you got a lot of resources, but we got to start really drilling down at the end user, and that's the person that's got to do the job. So we're going to think outside the box with an open mind today. You know, I like those expressions, and I met the guy that created that phrase, think outside the box, and some of you that heard me speak before, you know all about that story. But how many of you here view yourself as an athlete in life? Raise your hand. Every day is a game day. Can't wait to get back to work. How many of you workers look at their life that way? Woohoo, it's Monday. Back to work. Can't wait to see my boss give him a high five or a chest bump. All the time. You got those, I know, Gordon, yeah, baby. Woo. But I got to tell you, when I worked in athletics, we didn't start our day with a coffee, a donut, and smoke, and give my boss a high finger, which is not the first one, it's the next one over. Okay? It's a different mindset. Okay? In the world of athletics, we got to do everything humanly possible to protect that player. Would you agree with that? Now, my Pittsburgh Steelers haven't done too well in the playoff season, if you're a Steeler fan. And we have the big playoffs coming up this weekend. I don't know who you're rooting for.
Oh, the Niners.
Niners!
And, you know, they've come a long way this year. And I'd love to talk more football with you. But, you know, in that locker room, before those players come out, that coach is going to give a pep talk. And that coach is going to get those players motivated. Would you agree? And how many times do we struggle getting our people motivated to do anything? They know they should be safe. They know they got to do certain things, but at the end of the day, are they doing it? So I want you to view yourself as an athlete in life, and every day is a game day. And when we developed this, that was the philosophy. It's not a novel. It's a one day at a time. So I got my two lovely assistants back here. If you would like to have one of these books, I brought a stack of them. They're no charge to you. We'll give you one if you don't have one. If you'd like to view one, put your hand up, and we're going to spread some of these around. And Andy, you know where that remote is? Is it up here, bud? Okay. Now, I like going into different environments, sharing this message. Oh, sorry. Put your hand up, get yourself a book, take it home. There's a lot of good information in that. Okay. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to break this talk down in like 3 pieces. And it's going to be, I'm going to talk pretty snappy here to get all this in. Because normally this talk would take a lot longer. I want to give you a little overview of what this is, why we developed this. Okay. And then I want to get to a little bit of behavior modification, because hopefully today we're going to educate, motivate, and inspire you to want to take better care of you. And I am a firm believer in what everybody said up there in that panel. This is top down. If the head coach of the team doesn't care about taking care of themselves, you think that's going to filter down to the employee? Well, they don't stretch. Why should I do it? They're not living healthy. Why should I do it? We lead by example. We all know that. And I've seen that in the world of professional sports, too. I've seen great coaches do great things. So the first part is about EMS, and kind of break your birthdays down. I always like to highlight the 4 cores of life based on my game plan book. And then we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to go into a little bit about coaching. You know, being a coach myself, I've coached athletics from different levels, from little kids up to collegiate athletes. And I know I've worked with a lot of coaches, and I'm so sad to see what's going on at Penn State. It's a sad scenario up there. I'm a Penn State guy. And I got to tell you, it's been sad. It's a sad situation. But hopefully my partner can turn it around up there. We got a new coaching staff coming on board. So let's talk about the future of healthcare. I keep this in every one of my talks. Thomas said, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Some of you guys, the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest the patient to carry human frame and diet and the cause and the prevention of disease. Here's our problem. We are not even remotely close to this yet because we are not giving good care to the level that we should, unless you're in a concierge medical practice and you're a member of one of those kinds of programs, because the bottom line is we're not good at delivering. The key to this statement that Thomas Edison wrote, the doctor of the future won't give the medicine, and you guys all know, and I've chatted about this before, is that we have so many drugs available to us. Would you agree? Prescription drugs. Yeah, yeah. Are they working?
Yeah,
You know? Some do, some don't, and then one drug can lead to the next. There's been studies that show that patients now, I was working with a company 2 weeks ago, the average person's taking 3.5 prescriptions per day per employee. That's scary. And this is a company with thousands of employees. And they're not working. So the key today, and I hope you have a renewed interest, because here, think about it. If you're not interested in taking care of you, who's going to do it? The doctor? It's too late. So we're going to need a renewed interest in taking care of our employees, which I don't like to call them employees. You'll see my philosophy on that. I like to think about everybody on your team, okay, that works in your company is a valuable asset, not just to you, but to their families and everybody else. And I got to share a quick story with you. I was doing some EMS training, and I was talking about, you know, why don't we take care of ourselves? And, you know, one guy strolling into the audience, and he was relatively deconditioned, and I'll share this with you in a minute about the hurdles. Why don't we take care of ourselves? One of the hurdles you'll see here in a minute is, well, I just don't care. Guy sits down, he says, well, my body is an amusement park, and I shall play with it until I die. Now, I laughed at that. I thought that's pretty funny. But then that really sunk in a little bit, and, you know, the guy has 2 kids, you know, he's married, and he's living a challenging lifestyle. But if you think that way, you're going to be on the other end of that 911 call sooner than later. And that's a reality. So if you think about heart disease alone, okay, Americans die too from inactivity, just purely not moving. You know, I spoke with Jack Lane a couple times. He said, Mark, remember this life is motion. When it stops, it's over. When Jack Lane died, he died healthy. He exercised 2 hours a day before he died. He had pneumonia. He had no prolonged agony hanging out in a nursing home when he checked out at the end of life, because he moved. You got to move. The body's designed to move. And we don't move it, use it or lose it. And I know they're moving their bodies to a certain degree. So your health is driving your safety. Andy just chatted about it. The connection into the EMS athlete system, and we want this to be a best practice. Because, you know, you can get these books and then put them on a shelf and never use them, okay? Or you can do something about it. So we need to recognize that your health, the way you live, ultimately is going to drive what's going to happen to you out there on the road, working around your house, anything you do. So as we know, there's a lot of health problems we're dealing with. Heart disease still number 1. There's blood pressure, arthritis, obesity, type 2. You guys all know this stuff. How many of these do you think are controllable by the way you live? Most of them. You can prolong the agony of getting sick and getting diagnosed. There's a great book out right now. It's called Eat to Live. Has anybody read it yet? I got to tell you, it's a tough way to eat, but if you can live that way, the science is in. Dr. Mehmet Oz will tell you the same thing, that you eat right. A lot of these issues are going to come down, and it's hard for us to change the way we eat. So we'll talk more about that. So I like to talk about these hurdles. I'm going to put all these up because I keep reminding people that we get caught up in the grind of life. Would you agree? You get caught up. Anybody here get caught up in that same old stuff, different day? How many of your workers get caught up in that world? Another day, back to work, got my paycheck, got my pulse, got my family, and I'm complacent. Some people say to me, well, at my age, I'm too old to change. Anybody ever say that to you? At my age, why would I start stretching now in my company? I've worked here 20 years. Why would I do that today? Well, you're never too old to get better, right, Jay? I'm not saying you're old, Jay, but, you know.
You keep telling them.
I keep telling them that. And here's that I just don't care attitude. How many patients do you pick up that may fit that category? Their whole life they didn't care about taking care of their health. And then all of a sudden you get the call, you show up, you look at the patient and say, ooh, could have this been prevented? Perhaps. Some people don't care. Some people are impatient and they want results really quick. You ever notice that? If I watch that infomercial, that 5-minute abdominal program, I'm going to get ripped abs. They didn't talk to you about what you should eat. The thing is, you know, reality is, it takes time. You gotta be patient. And when we wrote this EMS athlete system, it's not overnight success. If you're going to change your life, it takes time to do it. And some folks will say, well, there's just no hope for me. I'm too far gone. Some companies have started big loser contests. I know, Don, you guys did Alert Ambulance. We have a great success story when it comes to weight loss. Debbie Quintina, who's on the audio program in this EMS athlete system. We had Don and a gentleman named John. Yeah, great testimonials. How much weight did Debbie lose now?
Debbie lost 18% of her body weight in the last 3 months when we were running our Biggest Loser contest.
18% of her body fat has been dropped. That's very significant. One of the things I think that got Debbie motivated was she was all part of this EMS athlete system, and she knew she had to make some changes, in which she did. And the good news is she's feeling a whole lot better, I guarantee you that. Would you agree, if you're going to take care of you, you've got to be very disciplined and take care of yourself? This is a huge hurdle for people to exercise, get the proper sleep, eat the right foods. It's just people just aren't disciplined. You know, when people go to the military, they go to boot camp, basic training to become a soldier, break you down and build you up. If you're going to live right, I guarantee you, you're going to have to do that same thing. You got to live like a soldier every day to break yourself down and build yourself up, ultimately to be a winner. You know, a lot of people just don't commit to themselves. They commit to a lot of programs. How many programs have come and gone in your company? Well, let's try this program. I'm not talking about technology. I'm talking about programs, training. I see a lot of companies try wellness. I wish that was working, but it's not. We got to think about complacency, same old stuff, different day. Have you ever procrastinated when it comes time to take care of you? Well, I've been driven by that health club that's there, but I'm not. You know, I've been thinking about eating healthy. We are good at procrastination. It happens to the human being. It's just the way it is. And these are the top ones I'm winding down with here. You got to be a self-motivated person to take care of yourself. Would you agree? Why would you want the physician to break the bad news to you and say, you know, I hate to tell you this, but you got 4 blocked arteries. That lifestyle you led all those years now caught up to you. And some people say, well, it's genetic. Well, some stuff is genetic. We got to get people motivated. And I don't know, man, that's a tough subject. And like I was telling Andy last night at dinner, you know, I worked with some of the folks at Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins gets people already motivated. They come to somewhere because they are motivated. We try to get people motivated in mining, trucking, industries that nobody's thinking about motivation. Would you agree it takes effort to take care of yourself? Everything good in your life takes effort, bad stuff shows up. People are so tired. I meet people, they're so sluggish. So now they're turning energy drinks. And I always share the story, you know, I'm dating myself, I'm in my 50s, but when we were kids, we drank Tang. Do you remember Tang? I'm not trying to date you, but Tang was something that we had. We thought that was for energy because astronauts drank that flavored sugar water with a little vitamin C. Ooh, Tang. Now it's Red Bull, Rockstar, Ant. You can even mix it with booze if you want. That's an interesting combination. So we don't have energy. Think about your business. If your people are struggling with energy, they're risky. Would you agree? You need it. You're in a high energy business. You get the call, you got to move, you got to go, you got patient care, and the number one reason, would you agree, everybody in this room, and I always bring these hurdles up because we have to be constantly reminded. I don't want to be at a dead horse, but the number one struggle we all have is I don't have time. I'm too busy to go to the gym. I'm too busy to eat healthy. And I always use the fast food example. It's not called slow food, it's called fast food, all because of time. So here's the thing. These hurdles get in the way of us taking care of ourselves. So you're the only one in control of your health, and the idea is connecting your health to your safety. Nobody else can do it for you. You know, you can offer up a great health program to your company, through your company or through your insurance carrier, and how many people actually do it. That's the question that we have to try to look at. I always share this philosophy of maintenance. You know, every company I work with has a maintenance department. Would you agree, everybody in this room would say your employees are the most valuable asset?
Yes.
So if that's true, do you have a human maintenance department to take care of your most valuable players? Fix them before they break. Take care of them like athletes. You know, one thing I learned working in sports, we have 5 full-time athletics trainers, a team doctor devoted to 52 players in the world of the NFL, all about the maintenance. So we need to think outside the box, because we know we got to do this. If you don't maintain your fleet, Rob, how long do you last? Not long. It's got to be maintained. So let's look at our human beings, our human capital. They're the most difficult machines to diagnose is you. It's hard to figure out what's wrong with you. I know they said mentally, they said pick on you. They said, you're a little bit twisted, they said. Is that true? That's okay. Yes, he is. You're very expensive to fix if you break.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. If you break down or have a heart attack or something goes wrong, what's the cost of fixing a human being? You guys know, you're in the business. You transport them, but at the end of the day, I've seen $13 million back claims. I've seen huge costs. How about it, Andy? You've seen some big bills out there. And you're the hardest machine to get by. So we got to think about our system here, human maintenance. For you, that's what it is. It's human maintenance. So I'm going to refresh you on the 4 quarters of life. If you've never seen this before, it's based on the book I wrote. It's based on everybody here living to 80. There's no guarantees in life. You might not live that long. But if you live to 80, the first quarter of life is when you're first born, age 20. Anybody here 20 or less? Remember that first quarter? That's a pretty good time, wasn't it? How about you? My fun meter was on high 24/7. You look like you are still having fun. I got to thank this guy, didn't I? Yeah. He's a madman, I understand, yeah. Well, he's a fun guy to hang out with, right? He just gave me the hairy eyeball. So would you agree when you're young, your birthdays go slow? We can't wait to get older. You know, now you're 21 and now it comes quicker. I remind you of these quarters of life because back then, that's when we are invincible. So if you're hiring, you know, in that age group, 20 or less, you know, they think they're invincible until they get older. And our birthdays, they do go slow. Now we hit that second quarter. Who's in that second quarter in this room? 21 to 39. We got some players second quarter? How's it going for you? Pretty good. You kind of hesitated on that. Could it be better? Now let's think about your life. Can you make your life better? So you got everything going on so good right now that, you know, you feel like a champion every day you wake up. You know, there's stuff that goes on. Some days, you know, I feel fantastic, you know, so, and I take good care of myself, but in that second quarter of life, and I'm actually out of that one, your birthdays are coming quicker, and you know what? It's like sports. And guess what, folks? You're already losing a little momentum with your conditioning, with your metabolic rate, with your energy levels, with your aches and pains. We saw Olympic athletes peaking in their teens and early 20s. Then they go down from there. I'm not trying to be negative on you, but we got to take whatever quarter of life you're in, turn the game around. Then we got to go in that locker room. Half-timers, anybody in the locker room, regrouping 40 to 41, living 80. Who's in halftime? Anybody? Hey, congratulations. How'd the first 2 quarters of life go for you?
They were a blast.
They were a blast. You can give me the real deal after the talk. Okay, they were a blast. And at halftime, we'll regroup and come out, and let's win the second half because that's when games are won. You don't win in the locker room, but that locker room is a great opportunity for you guys to have pep talks with your people about this process, this reality of aging and living, because it's real, and you guys are living it. I'm the third quarter guy. Who's in that third quarter? If you've seen these quarters of life, you know where you're at. All right, congratulations. You seem pretty excited about it. Look, he's laughing, he's happy. So you're a third quarter guy? How's it going for you? Fair. Can it get better? Yes. The good news is it can get better if you do something about it, and that's the majority of the American workforce. Did you know that? And you probably see the stats out there. The American workforce now is in this quarter of life, and guess what? You guys know this too. With that comes risk. Would you agree, Rob, a 50-year-old back injury and a 20-year-old back injury is a different ballgame? So we all know that. So what are we doing about it? We got to take that third quarter and turn that around as well. Fourth quarter, you got to have a happy retirement, I hope. I work in a lot of industries, they don't even make retirement. You work to die. Anybody like that works their whole life? They didn't enjoy retirement? Maybe get a few pension checks and then they're gone. Happens. So we got to start thinking about these quarters. Where are we at? What are we doing? And I hope you guys have a happy retirement. You go beyond that, look how happy he is. We were trying to figure out one of my slideshows. At Alert Ambulance, I had that slide up. I said, why is that guy so happy? And every class, what do we hear? We heard every class, Dawn sat in every class with me. They all said the same thing. I said, why is that guy so happy? The guy said, Viagra.
That's the wife? Why wife's happy?
Your wife's happy.
Now that will end.
I don't know if that's his wife. Maybe it's not his wife. I don't know. But he's having a good time at the beach down here in Florida, running down the beach, chasing his bride, I hope. But you can have a good life towards the end of your life, and then you go beyond it and you reach double overtime. One of our friends in the Alert Ambulance called it sudden death. I don't like to call it that. Remember that one there, John? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had some award winners there. So that's the quarters of life. And the reason why I highlight those again, and I like to keep that in front of people, is to recognize this reality that we are going through these quarters of life. Putting it into a sports analogy to live and to age. So when we get older, let's look at what happens with injuries, and I just chatted about it briefly there. But you guys know that we're young, we're invincible. You think about what we've done when we were younger, we have these bumps and bruises. I have some clinical stories I can share you, but one in particular, we had a child that fell out of a tree years ago. We had a bunch of sports medicine practices. We were going to rehab, and he just had bumps and bruises. And we had a lady later that day stepped off the curb incorrectly, and she blew her hip. Would you agree the patients that you pick up in that fourth quarter and beyond become very fragile? And one thing I know for a fact, if Jack Lane was with you right now, if he was still alive, he would tell you, you better finish your life strong. Don't finish your life weak. You finish it weak, you're going to pay the consequences of spending time in an environment that you don't want to be. Another reason we developed this EMS athlete program is to address all these issues as we get older, including the injuries. And my partner, Dr. Joyer, wrote the first chunk of this too on the physical demands associated with your industry. So we need to think about those injuries and let's prevent it. Why do we stretch in companies? Because it works. You all did it when you were a kid. Now you're older. We're going to stretch the end of our talk today. We're going to wrap up on a real positive note and move your bodies a little bit. All right. What you get in this system, if you're not familiar with it, the game book, there's two versions of it. This is our revised version. We kind of tweaked a little bit, as Andy said. There's lifestyle factors in it. We have an audio CD. There's a stretch card. There's survey cards. You know, this is not a program that comes and goes. This becomes part of your culture. So it's a system. So that's what's included, and we got a few more up there. Please take one or before you leave if you don't have one now. It includes these lifestyles, and then we also have information about nutrition in here. It's a big deal, what you eat. In the back of the book, we've collaborated with the Cooper Institute. Dr. Kenneth Cooper is the man that invented the word aerobics. We have the most fundamentally sound information right up there with Dr. Mehmet Oz on preventative care. And we also want to make sure that you guys get our newsletters. If you're not getting our monthly newsletters, please see me at the end of the class. Give me your business card. We write a monthly health and safety newsletter that you guys have access to. It's part of your program. So, how you live, okay, affects your overall health, safety. It affects you, it affects everybody around you. So, when we look at that game book, you don't just read it, you're going to play it. Think about it. Who's the hardest competition if you're out of sports now? You. You ever try to compete with you? For instance, those snacks that you had out there, let's say we had a bowl of fresh fruit, we had some raw vegetables with no ranch dip, and we had those tasty treats, and you could only go to one area of the table. Where would you go? Yeah, okay, you guys buy that? You'd go to the bad vegetables. But if you have a sweet tooth, where do you want to go? I mean, the fruit might satisfy a little bit, but a lot of people are going to go to the sweets because it tastes better. So we need to start thinking about, you know, how do we change our own behavior, and everybody here has an opportunity to get better. Now, I'm going to move into a little bit of coaching because, you know, here I got Mike Tomlinson up there. You might know who he is. He's the coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I put him up here because I've been associated with the Steelers. But he's a great coach. There's a lot of great coaches out there. The thing is, have you looked at yourself and your workforce? And have you ever, you're probably all coaching people to a certain degree, would you agree? You know, if you want them to do something, you got to kind of coach them to do it. So let's break this down. What is a coach? And I'm not going to spend all the time reading this, but basically it's a method of directing people or groups to do something that you want. You want an outcome associated with that. In the world of athletics, we want to win. In your business, do you want to win or do you want to lose? You want to win. Not to pick on Rob, but I know Rob. Rob, what's a winning season for Alert Ambulance? It's the end of the year. What's a winning season in your company?
Positive bottom line.
Would you agree it's always about the bottom line? Is there anything beyond the bottom line? Well, at the end of the day, there are some other factors that drive the bottom line. You guys are all here part of that. Being safe, preventing injuries, accidents, all part of the bottom line. But we want to coach people ultimately to win, okay? Win for you as a company. At the end of their life, we want to see people win and not hang out in a nursing home and be able to really enjoy their retirement. That would be successful if you can do that. So when we're looking at coaching, are you really coaching your people or are you just talking to them? There is a difference. So, raise your hand if you ever played sports. Ah, lots of athletes here. Okay, what'd you play? Football. You remember your favorite coach? Okay. All right, wrong answer, but, you must have, what's,
Jim Jones.
okay, why do you remember? He wasn't a good coach. You remember any good coaches? You remember a good coach? What was his name? Her name?
Coach Belcher, high school basketball.
Okay, why was he so good?
I'm motivated.
Motivate. The reason why I popped that question, let's think about our lives and think about who's been a mentor in our lives and who's coached us. You know, I've been fortunate, I had some great mentors in my life. My partner, Dr. Joyner, Dr. Calloway, Charlie Jones, Zig Ziglar, some folks that I worked with over the years, great mentors. Well, we got to think about what makes you remember that. When you think about what makes up a good coach, you guys are part of the coaching staff. Would you agree in your company? If you're here, chances are you're part of the coaching team. And as a coach, you know, we apply these principles because they work. And chances are all those good coaches that you remember, or the bad ones that you might remember, either did or did not do anything. The ability to motivate the team. Do you have that ability to motivate your staff every day? When it comes to the stretching program, we see a lot of supervisors, managers, they're just not good at motivating their team members to do it. You know, they kind of put, when somebody says, well, I don't really want to stretch today. Okay, well, we'll do it. Well, that coach needs to get that player engaged to do it. We got to inspire that team. You ever try to inspire your people? People go to church for a reason, you know, because they're a believer or they want to get inspired. You know, Joel Osteen, you ever hear him talk? He's a good speaker, gets people motivated, inspires them. Ability to make positive changes with your team. Let's say you're losing a little momentum, you're losing some market share, or you're seeing injuries or accidents. We got to turn the game around, folks. We got to be able to coach our people to do that. Ability to regain momentum. If we're losing a little momentum, we got to regain it. That's what good coaches can do. Okay? We got to look at our members, team members. They like to play for the coach. Do you ever work for somebody you didn't like? Raise your hand. Okay? See, nobody put their hand up when the Lord angels. That's good. I've worked for guys, you know, years ago when I used to be employed, I was self-employed for a long time. And you probably worked for some people you didn't really like, huh?
No comment.
That's politically correct. Not now. But I mean, back in the day, here's the thing. Would you agree you get more out of people if they like playing for you? If they like working for you? You know, you said something very important. It's how you treat people. Thank you. These kind of things. They don't go a long way. They seem little, but they're big. So all these things are driving it, okay? We know how we want to produce. Bottom line, the coach cares about the team. Do you really care about your people? A lot of times people give lip service at the end of the day. We don't really, you know, do you care to the level you need to? I don't know. I hope you do. And winning breeds winning because the coach knows how to win. Good coaches are really consistent at it. So, how do you look at your people? Are they associates, employees, team members, or players? You got to be a little careful with that one because if my daughter brings home a player at age 24, I'm a little nervous about that. Hey son, I want you to meet my boyfriend. He's a real player. You might relate to that. He gave me the hairy eyeball again. Okay. But, you know, no matter how you view your people, I like to use the word team member. You're part of the team. You're part of the alert team. You're part of your company team, the Pro Transport. Great name, Pro. You guys are pros. We got to get our people believing that because that's part of the culture. So at the end of the day, we got to look at our folks a little differently. Strategies of coaching. If we're going to make this EMS athlete system work in our culture and our business, you know, again, it's a tool like all the other tools you guys have. This happens to be a human tool to drive behavior, to live better. We got to, but some things you guys know, and I know you already know, you got to know your competition, like in sports, it's no different, who you compete against. You got to know your players. You know, I work with some big companies, they don't even know their people. They don't even know their names. They don't know who these people are. Study game films. You might say, well, what is a game film? Well, we actually shoot game films and look at our body. And if you have drive cam, that can count a little bit of a game film. You have some technology to help you with that. We got to maximize the talent on the team. Why would you put a quarterback in a linebacker spot? You know what I mean? Are you maximizing every player on your team? Some companies do, some companies don't. So there's a lot of components to being a great coach, okay? But at the end of the day, I still think that these words of inspiration, and we got to get tough when necessary. We deal with a lot of union companies, and some of their toughness I don't really agree with. They discipline people to the point they make the employee feel like this big. I don't know how effective that is. And then it becomes a ripple effect of bad problems in companies. So all these coaching strategies are available to you if you start applying them, and perhaps you already are. So Rank your coaching skills. Where do you think you rank as a coach? You ever thought about it? On a scale from 1 to 10, can you get your players fully engaged? Okay, no matter what you're talking about, where would you rank your coaching skills? What do you think? Where would you put yourself on the scale of 1 to 10? As a coach?
I don't know, I try to think it's
Not bad. Yeah.
I'll be honest, probably 9.
That's really good. You guys all right? You guys know this guy up here?
Yeah.
Well, he's good. I need you to, I'm glad you're up here. Where would you put yourself? You ever thought, maybe a lot of people haven't thought about it, but maybe 6 or 7? 7, okay. Think about other coaches on your team. Where would they rank? Are they good at getting people engaged? It's an important thing to think about because you guys are driving safety. You guys are driving everything in your business. Think what you can do with your own coaching skills. Rank the morale. This is a loaded question. I get into really nasty morale businesses where morale is like a 1 or a -1. How's morale in your company today? Where would you rank it on the scale from 1 to 10? You know, I've seen it all over the map. I've seen this question pop to a lot of different environments. I'll ask one guy, where'd you put morale here? One guy immediately, mine comes at -5. It's a -5, that's not even on the chart. It starts at 1. I won't tell you what he said next. But a lot of bad attitudes. Would you agree attitudes drive morale?
Oh, yeah.
It's the #1 ingredient for a bad, morale is attitudes. Now, there's reasons why people have bad attitudes. Raise your hand if you like to hang out with people with bad attitudes that are whiners. Anybody know a whiner? A complainer? He's like, looking, ooh. Whiners, complainers, moaners, negative people, pessimistic thinkers. You know any of those folks? Boy, they're out there, aren't they? At the end of the day, they're out there and they're driving morale. When I've seen morale issues in companies, you might think, well, that's a fluffy thing. That's not a fluffy thing. I'll tell you why. I've seen injuries go up, accidents go up, bottom line shrink because of poor morale. Have you seen it, Andy, in companies that you work with? Morale is big. You take care of them, you do everything right for them, guess what? This gets up, this goes up, and you become a better company. So, morale affects safety, productivity, efficient attitude, everything. It affects the bottom line is morale. When we wrote the EMS athlete system, one of the tools is, with the flexibility programs, is let's uplift our people when they start their day and help them with these areas of morale. Because at the end of the day, you guys are liable. If they get sick or hurt while they work for you, who picks up the tab? You guys. So this all is connected. And again, it's a different way of thinking, but we need to start really thinking about applying this to ourselves and to our business. So once again, do you believe that lifestyle drives safety? Goes around. As a coach, you need to care for the condition of the players. So, where do you rank your safety culture? 1 to 10. Now, if you're in Catalyst, you guys are probably high in the totem pole. But is there any room for improvement to drive that safety culture to the next level? Always room for improvement. That's the challenge that we all got, and that's the good thing about this is we can always ratchet it up. And I think these workshops, I'm glad that Andy invites me to come to share some of these messages with you, and I hope you take it serious because this stuff is all another spoke in the wheel to drive your whole program to the level from good to great. So think about where your culture is in your business, and if you want to get it to a 10, take it, make it personal. And what I've known over the years, when you start addressing lifestyle to safety, now it gets personal. So, who's driving your safety culture? Would you agree it should be everybody here? Top down? Your management the way down. So it's really everybody, and you guys, again, I don't need to talk to you guys too much about this, but I get in some environments where I gotta tell you, safety is a real disconnect. So, let's think about the condition of your players. This is the one I want to drill down on before we get you up and stretch you out, because this is the one that concerns me the most about your industry. I'm not going to sugarcoat this piece, because I've seen a lot of EMS companies, again, what percentage of your workforce is truly fit for duty? They eat healthy, they work out 5 to 7 days a week, okay? They get proper rest, and I know that's a real challenge in your industry is sleep. It's a huge threat. I know it wasn't awareness, but I met a lot of tired people. What percentage of your workforce, okay, where would you rank the condition of the players on your team? What do you think? 4? Where would you rank everybody in your company, the total condition of the players? That's pretty high. Don, where do you rank your team now? Are you getting better?
It gets better. People are thinking about it a lot more. We've got some team members who are motivating others, so.
That's
a good
good.
thing. So I'd say when we started, we were at a 4. We're probably getting closer to a 6, and we're gonna keep going, so.
Yeah, you can never give up on this, and that's what happens to a lot of companies. They try wellness initiatives and they get discouraged because they're not working, okay? But we gotta stay at it, like Lynn said, it takes that constant drilling and drilling and drilling, and I wish it was easy, folks, but this is a section that we really start needing to stress. And the flexibility program is a simple little ingredient. If you make that investment, okay, with your people, and we have resources to help you with that, okay, that drives a lot of we have so many positive outcomes associated with getting our players in better condition with their injuries and OSHA record. All that stuff comes down through some simple little tools that you can do. So the condition of the player, think about how you would do if we lined up a marine physical fitness obstacle course in your parking lot. First thing you do is climb a 30-foot wall with a bull rope, and you got to finish the course. How would your team members do running that course today? That's a little extreme, but we got to think about the condition. So, good coaches make safety personal. You drive a lifestyle of safety. That's what the EMS athlete system is about. It's not your traditional kind of a book that you read, as I made mention. You integrate lifestyle. And if you already have books that we've already shipped you, and you haven't rolled it out yet, we want to help you with that. We have a trainer. There's different ways to make that happen for you, but it is one of those things, you use it or you lose it, and it'll be a waste of energy. So, good coaches, we want to connect that lifestyle of safety. So, as we say, prepare for the journeys and journey of life. Okay, we're all on it. I love these couple slogans, and you might have seen them in my talks. I have them on posters. If you want these posters too, I can send these to you. We have these available. We put them up in the break rooms. This is a profound statement. We spend our entire lives sacrificing health to gain money. Okay, then when we reach our retirement years, we sacrifice all of our money and try to regain our health. Now, if it's your first time to see that, would you agree that's pretty accurate? We're so busy working, taking care of our families, doing the day in, day out things that we must do to survive, but we forget about us a lot of times. We put ourselves on the sideline. You know, mothers are really good at this. You know, they take their caregivers, and a lot of times a mother will take care of everything, and then they kind of forget it. I'm not saying it's you in this room, but in general, we need to think about this thing because it's very true. And this is my own slogan. I use this on my radio show, and I'm going to leave the balance of this session for some questions, and we're going to actually get up and we're going to go through some stretching so you can feel the talk. Okay? When I wrote this, would you agree we're all on a journey right now? And sometimes this journey of life can be a smooth ride. Sometimes it can be a bumpy ride. And would you agree? Sometimes it can be a roller coaster. But I do know this, and you know this too, being in healthcare, the number one challenge that everybody in this room will face is when somebody near and dear to you gets diagnosed with a major league problem or something that you can't fix. Would you agree? That takes you on the ride, and it can really go down this way. And I've shared my dad's story several times with people, and he had a pacemaker changed, and the wires were infected with E. coli, and nobody knew it when they put the new one in his chest at age 76. And he died on life support from a pacemaker being changed. Medical mistakes and infectious disease is the fourth leading cause of death in the United States. So the last place you want to hang out at the end of the day is being on the other end of that 911 call. And you need to think about your workforce that way, because this journey that we're on, I see a lot of people, including my listeners on XM radio, that are not prepared to go the distance. They die young. We're trying to inspire them on a radio show to turn your life around. And you're in a great industry because you can save lives too in what you do if you get people to where they need to be on time. But let's think about our own journey that we're on right now. This is a personal message, folks, because this is really about you as a coach, as a leader, and if you drive your own life in the right direction, it's going to filter down to your kids, it's going to filter down to your coworkers, and the more people that learn ambulance, and Glenn, I know your company, you know, you've gone to that next level, the more people take this serious, that journey gets better. And we all know that. It's not rocket science. It's just trying to get people to help themselves. Okay, you can suggest things all day long, and working in the medical field, I've seen so many patients come in, hey, you know, you gotta lose weight, or this is gonna happen, yeah, I know that, and then we see them the next year, next thing you know, they get diagnosed with something major. Happens every day. So we wanna see you guys live your life to the fullest, and you deserve to be a winner. And one of the greatest coaches of all time, Vince Lombardi, I love that he had one of the greatest coaching slogans of all time. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And we know you're in a tough industry. We want to help you make it a little bit better by integrating this system ultimately so you become a winning company to help your most valuable assets, your people. So we're going to wrap it up with some stretching. If you get up on your feet, you got a jacket on, Andy, throw that baby out there. Take that jacket off. The reason I'm going to wrap up a little stretch, it feels good. If you got a flight on the way home, it's going to help you with your flight. Okay, why don't you come up, help me lead us through. What's your first name? Tyler. Okay, Tyler. All right, Tyler, you get, see, he's a flexible guy. You get right through those chairs. I'll pick a lady, any lady you want here to help us lead the stretch. Kristen, where's Kristen at? Hey, Kristen, thanks for volunteering. You seem so enthused about this, Kristen. All right, that's good. Where are you guys from?
California?
Oh, you with the Pro Transport Group?
Absolutely.
All right, good. Love the name of the company. You guys are pros, right? Boy, he's tall. Geez, he's tough. That guy never stops. Are you his bodyguard when you guys come out? He's part of the entourage. Okay, what we're going to do is, some of you have been through my classes, we have a lot of different routines that we do. Using the seminars, we just kind of take you through the basic. We have all this on video, so we have a lot of resources. Before you leave, if you want to get one of the stretch cards and a handout, come up here and grab yourself one of these. This has the routine that I'm going to take you through now. Y'all set? You ready? You got the eye of the tiger?
Okay.
You got the eye of the tiger?
Sure.
Sure. You know what that means?
Something from Rocky.
That's something from Rocky, right? All right.
Is it?
It is, yeah. Okay, yeah, cut me, Nick. Remember that one? Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, you can see it. Okay. That's lifting up your neck. Roll your head to your left shoulder. You feel the side of your neck stretch, a little mild tension on the side of that neck. And again, we have a lot of different routines. We take it from basic, intermediate to advanced. Over to the right shoulder. Pause. Okay. Keep your head on your right shoulder. Take your right hand, pull down the side of your head. You want to stretch the side of your neck. That's it. Take it over to the side. Oh yeah. A little mild tension. Nice. Over the other side. Down and hold. This is all part of the EMS athlete system. Every athlete, as you all know, must start their day by taking care of their brains and their bodies. The coach kind of gets their brains in the mood, and then they got to go through their routines to warm up. Okay, now let's go into our shrugs. Shoulders up towards your ears and roll back. And as you take a real hot tub. See how natural you are when you do this? Hey, Tyler, get the trash out. There you go. How does that feel? Pretty good?
Sure.
How's he look on video back there?
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
All of you, it's amazing.
One more time, up towards your ears and back. Laughter's a great remedy for stress. Anybody here got some stress in their world? Hands behind your head. Press your elbows back as far as you can. Now force your elbows behind your head. Can you get squeezed in between those two? Now push your elbows back. Exhale and breathe. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? After sitting for a while. Arms up over the head. Lock your elbows. Line your arms up with your ears. Clasp your fingers. Okay? Line those arms. Now, some folks can't lock their elbows because they have tendonitis or epicondylitis in their elbows, but as they do this daily, they can do this. Now, let's see how good your balance is. Go up on top of your toes. Stretch out your calves a little bit. Anybody feel a little wobbly? If you got pumps on, maybe a little challenging. Drop down, shake out your arms. Good. Arm up, arm down behind the head. Come back, get your elbow. Again, we highly recommend that you integrate these routines into your daily practice to help you not just move patients, but it helps to actually increase blood flow, circulation, range of motion, helps with body mechanics. Down to the other side and hold. If you struggle getting your elbow, you have the option to get a hook and bring it on down. Okay? Feel the back of the arm, the tricep. Feel good?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right answer. Okay, shake out your arms. Bring your arm around your chest, come above the elbow. Push on the elbow, above the elbow, stretch out your shoulder. Think about the body parts associated with the function of your jobs. They use all their body parts, okay? And shoulders are at risk, like back, knees. How you feeling over that side? Everybody good? All right, bring your arm around. Okay, Glenn, how you go, buddy? How they looking over here?
Feels good.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Every day.
And if it feels good,
You feel great.
you do it.
Do it.
Yeah, baby.
Right.
Get it up, man. All right, shake it, get it on, baby. Shake it. All right, take your arms straight out like this. Bend your knees. We call this the physical readiness position. Think about your core. Is it in good shape? Your core, okay? Shrug your shoulders forward, push, press and hold. This opens up the mid part of your back. He looks really good in this position. Check him out. Looks like, he kind of looks like he's ready to go out and party. This is your warm-up stretch before you go out into town. Yeah, I can see you one of those mechanical bulls. Yeah, warm up before you do your routine. All right. All right, take an arm, shake it. All right, reach back, the handcuff stretch. Oh, the tie it right there. All right, now, tie it right here. Grab it, okay, lift up and hold. Now, you might not have a lot of range of motion in this position. These exercises are designed to do on our feet. Every day you do them, you will get more flexible and more limber. The key is commitment. Those behavior hurdles, the commitment to this program is what will make it work. All right, hands into your lower back, into the lumbar, and squeeze your elbows. Try to touch them. Gee, you're pretty limber there. Wow. You guys are good. Now, lay your head back. Squeeze your elbows as deep as you can go. I was in Wisconsin training Johnsonville Brats. You ever hear of that company? They eat what they make. It's a great company. Man, I'm talking about some serious Wisconsin bellies. Anybody here from Wisconsin? They do like their cheese and brats and beer and brandy. I do know that. All right, shake it out. All right, feeling good? Take a wide stance, bend your knees, line your arms up to your ears. You guys grab your right thumbs, we grab our left thumbs and lock your elbows. Lock them out and hold, okay? And again, pull to the side on the thumb. And I gotta tell you a funny story at Alert Ambulance. I think Don was in the class. We're doing this exercise and the guy pulled on the finger on this one. He was a big old boy too. I don't remember his name. But he launched so loud, he let that baby out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just grateful I wasn't in the back of the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he didn't hold back at all. He let her fly. Yeah, and that's what, hey, I had a lot of stories come out of Alert. And that's Jersey too. There's something about Jersey. How many Dunkin' Donuts are by your office? It was like silly. All right, now when we did this exercise, let's hold that guy back up against the wall. Put your hands on your upper thighs. Push off your upper thighs. We're slightly around your shoulders. We're going to stretch your spine out. Okay? So lean forward, push it back up towards the ceiling. Okay, feel you're just going to cat back. Okay, you want to feel your back and your spine open up. Oh yeah, breathe. How's the team look from the back room there? How are they looking there?
You guys look really good.
Yeah, hey, camera guys, don't be doing any zooming. Relax and bring it up nice and slow. All right, everybody good? All right, feels good. Now, what you're feeling right now is a sensation. If you stretch on a regular basis, you already know. A lot of people don't, okay? What this will do is when you start feeling that blood flow and circulation increase, the body automatically will move better. All right, hold on to your table. Your chair in front, reach back, try to grab your foot or your pant leg. Just stretch out your quadriceps. And if you're going to fly today, this will help you. And again, if you struggle getting your foot, get your pant leg. Now what I'd like you to do with your foot, with your knee straight to the ground, bend this leg slightly, force your foot down into your hand, and feel the quads in front of the leg. Now as you get better at this, you don't have to hold on. And you can get really good at this, you start doing this. That works that balance. Now, you feel a little wobbly, hold on. Rob, be careful, buddy. Andy will catch you, but hold on to some there. There you go. All right, take it out. Good, very good. Other side, back and hold. Again, you feel a little wobbly, hold on to something. Press the foot down into the hand, and feel that front of the leg open up. Rob, you okay there, buddy?
Good.
No Charlie horses in your hamstring? Shake out your legs. All right, everybody good? Now, I want to do this next exercise. I think we got enough, a couple minutes yet. We good on time? Yep. Good. She says 5, you said 2.
5 minutes.
All right, we got a couple minutes. And we're going to open up for a few questions, and you guys are going to depart and have a healthy lunch, I hope, today. I want you to stretch your hamstrings out. How many of you here stretch your hamstrings a couple times a day? Not once, but a couple. Would you agree, Rob, it makes a big difference on your back?
Definitely.
And Andy and I, we drill this, and when we do these workshops, we talk about hamstring flexibility. When you don't have it, and your hamstrings are really tight, you guys are probably someone where your low back injuries go through the roof. Tight hamstrings creates lower back problems. So what we're gonna do, you have a couple options. You can use the inside of your chair, you can do this on the floor. I'm actually gonna demonstrate it on the table, where I'm gonna prop my foot up. Now, you don't have to prop that high, but you can use the floor. If you do it on the floor, you wanna do it like this. You can't see me, you just kind of take your leg to the side, and you just bring your chest down towards your knee. The leg on the back is bent. If you feel aggressive, you can put your foot up. You got tight quarters there where you guys are at. She made it up. Okay, again. Now, what I'd like you to do is bring your chest down towards your knee just to feel how tight that hamstring is. Keep your leg relatively straight. There's no bouncing when we do these exercises. And on the instructional DVDs too, we instruct all this out for your folks. Okay? One that feel a little tight back there? A little tight? The alcohol tighten you up? Reach back for your toes? Probably the alcohol. The alcohol tighten my muscles. I thought I was supposed to loosen it. The toxins, correct. Shake out your leg. All right, where did Jay go? Did he disappear in this?
I'm stretching.
All right.
What do you want from me?
Okay, I did see you. You're hiding back there. Bring your chest down and hold. I know I'm always getting on Jay. But he does a good job. How about it, Jay? I saw him in the gym this morning with me.
How much do I have to pay
Through the
for
window.
that?
Okay, pull back on those toes if you can get them. If you can't get the toes, grab your calf, press that chest. And again, when those hamstrings, I recommend 3 times a day, get those hamstrings loosened up. You'll be surprised how much better your back will feel. Feeling good there? Shake them out. All right. Wrist and hand, arm straight out, 4 fingers back and hold. You're doing patient handling, you're driving the vehicle, you're working at the computer, all kinds of things going on. We also have an intranet flexibility program for your office staff. You can load it on your intranet. You can stretch right at your desk at your computer. And now we have a new pop-up video that every couple hours your exercise routine pops up and reminds you, get rid of that stress. Come underneath the hand, pull down this way. Okay? How's the 3 amigos going over here? Everybody good? That'll help you for later. Okay. Come underneath, take a hit. No, when you're drinking out there, have a couple cocktails. Don't be thinking like that now. Okay, press down and hold. Everybody good? How they doing over there? All right, feel that top of the wrist elbow? Good. Other side, 4 fingers back and hold. Again, we're working total body, okay? We're doing their neck the whole way down to our hands, okay? It's like we want to work the fingernails to the toenails. Underneath, force it down this way. Make a fist, curl your knuckles. You seem very enthused about this. And then reverse it this way, bring it on down. Good. How you making that? You feel that? What are you going to do after the stretch? You want to fly home? Hands out wide. Tight fist. Shake them out. All right, we're looking good. Feel more limber? Should be. Yeah. Okay, now let's reach run. Okay, we're winding down here, guys. Winding down. You EMS athletes, you up. One more time up. Good. Rework your head slowly left. Slowly right. You know, for workshops and stuff, Andy we work together. We have a lot of different topics that we can help, you know, as a resource to make this program work for you. Now, we're going to wrap it up with our deep breathing. Okay? You're really enthused now. All right, take a wide stance and bend your knees. Get that physical readiness position. You're going to inhale up through your nose. This gets rid of your stress. Okay, deep breathing is a remedy, as we all know. Get rid of stress. Some people use it with cigarettes. We recommend not, but exhale down. All right, big deep breath up. You guys, watch you don't whack each other there in the middle there. Yep. Exhale. And another big, take that breath as low as you can go. And after this last one, I always wrap up the talk with, I want you to give your fellow team member here a high five today. Exhale down. All right. High five to the team. All right. Lucky baby. Woo! You guys did good, baby. I can't get up there. Good job. 6'10". Give yourselves a hand. You guys did it. guess in closing, I really appreciate Andy inviting me today and Jay and working with you folks. I think you're a great industry. If we can help, with what we do from a human element, that's why we're here to help as a resource to you guys. We've got some more books up here. Please feel free to take one. And we've got some laminate stretch cards if you want one. Go grab one. And there's a few little handouts. Just take something with you so you have something to remember what we did here today. Any questions? Wrapping up. I'm sure some of you got flights you got to get out of here. If you're staying for the weekend, enjoy Florida. Looks like the weather's going to be nice. Andy, we got anything else we get? Yes, questions?